Hello and welcome to Michelle's Scrapbooking Thoughts. I'm Michelle and this is the project we're going to be making today. This is a Halloween version, but I am going to make a fall version today. These are for my pen pal swap this month. I'm making her 2 of them so she can use. They're super simple to make and you can use 1 sheet of 12 by 12 and just a few scraps of your designer paper, but it's a Trifold Folio. It opens up. We've got 2 tag places with pockets. We also have little tuck spots that you could add more things to. And then this folds out. This folds up. We've got places to journal. We've got more places for photos. Really super sweet folio. We also have room on the back. This also becomes a tuck spot, as well as these areas for photos too. So this is what we're going to make today. It's super sweet. It is held on with a belly band. And I'm hoping that she really likes them. This is from using the Echo Park I Love Halloween series. Now I know this goes on here. Well, it's not going on there for me right now, so I will fix it later. But we are going to be using the Paper Studio Farmhouse Paper Crafting Kit. I like the Paper Studio. It usually comes with a set of letter stickers, some stickers with some larger images and words, and then also some 3D embellishment stickers. So, but the first thing we're going to do is get our scoreboard. And we're going to score this piece. At 4, whoops, at 4 and 8, and then we're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and we're going to score it at 7. We want to fold and burnish on the score lines and make sure our score lines are even. We don't want anything wonky. I've been thinking about all the residents in South Florida. Bless their hearts. My family is in the upper part of Florida, and then I do have a lot of friends that were affected, but they're okay, thank goodness. Okay, so what we're going to do is you have 3 squares here at the bottom and 3 larger ones at the top. We're going to cut these 3 on the score lines, just on the outside of the score line. Now, you can do this with your trimmer. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with our ruler, and being that this is black, I'm going to be using my gel pen so I can see. And you want to come in and you want to mark at 1 1/4 on the left side. Just a little mark. And 10 3/4 on the right side. Just like that. Then what we want to do is we want to take our ruler and we want to draw a line from the corner up here at the top of the score line down. And then we want to come over to the right side and we want to do the same thing. Now yours will probably be in pencil, but in order for the black, I wanted to make sure you guys could see. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to just cut straight up. And I'm going to cut just a little bit to the outside of that white line. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing over here. Okay, so now we're going to turn this around and we're going to fold these up the opposite direction. So these now become your pockets. This becomes part of your flap. And this becomes another pocket. So this will fold over. And this will fold over. Now you can see that it's a little bit of bulk there. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and I'm probably going to remove both of these score lines completely out. And that way it will alleviate some of the bulk. And it will allow it to fold flat. Because as we start adding pictures and paper, it will thicken up some. And we want this to be able to close without the extra bulk. So we're just going to remove that score line. Actually, there we go. So these are, now we have our two pockets and we have our bottom flap. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to get another piece of black 12 by 12 cardstock and we're going to cut our tags at 3 by 12. One memento, please. I forgot I needed another piece. So we're going to cut 3 by 12. And we're going to cut these in half at 6. And that will give us 2 pieces. So these are our tags and we can set these aside. Now we're going to cut a piece at 4 inches. Rotate and cut again at 4 inches because we want to create a 4 by 4 square. This will be on the front for the belly band. Then we want to cut a piece at 3 1/4 by 6. We want to score this at a 1/2 inch. We're going to score this at a 1/2 inch and fold it down. Next we want to cut a piece that's 2 inches. It's 2 inches. No. This piece is not 2 inches, it's just a little bit shy, but it'll still work as a belly band. So the strips that you have left over can be used for your belly band. It doesn't have to be 2 inches. Let's see. Now, the next thing we're going to do is score a 1 4 3/4 inch piece. Let's see. A 1 4 3/4. Trying to read my own handwriting. And we're going to score each of these on each end at a 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's start putting this together. We're going to bring our trimmer back in just a minute. But what we want to do is put our flap on, because this piece is going to adhere here, right in the middle, and will flip up. So this piece right here will become, what did I do with it? It will become this piece right here. So this will flip up, and then this is able to flip down. So we're creating the mechanism that interacts. In order to do that, I'm just going to put a little glue on this flap. And I am going to try to center it up with the bottom flap. Okay. So now we've got our interactive part adhered. And the next thing we want to do, this may have to be downsized just a little bit. I think I cut this just a little bit too big, but I'm just going to fold it in just a little bit more. There we go. And we're just going to adhere that down. And don't worry about writing any of these measurements down. There'll be a link below underneath the title. There's a little drop down arrow. If you click that, it'll have all the information to this project. It'll be on my blog. And there'll be a direct link directly to this project. Okay. So that works like this. Make sure this closes. Okay, since we took out the score line, it does fold flat now, so that's a good thing. Okay, so that looks really good. The next thing we're going to do is start working on our designer series paper, and we need 3 pieces that'll be cut at 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. Now they can all be the same pattern. They can be 3 different patterns. I did 2 patterns that are the same and 1 pattern that's different. Totally up to you. I have another piece. I'm looking for it. Oh, there we are. Okay. So again, 3 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. And you'll decide exactly how you want them to go. And I do want, I know I have 2 of these. I want 2 of these to be the same. Now this is not going to where you're going to put the 3rd piece, because this is going to be a journaling mat, just like we have over here. So this part over here will be white cardstock. So you want your 2 pieces of 3 3/4 by 6 3/4 to go on either side, and then the 3rd one to go in the middle on the back. So let's get these adhered down. Get my glue. Look at that. I put that on upside down. You would think it was Monday for me today. I don't know. I have really been struggling today. This is the 2nd time I've done this video. I had to erase the first one. It was terrible. Like my daddy would tell me, there'll be days like that. Okay. I've had some email questions about the some of the supplies that I use when I'm paper crafting, and I will be doing a video on my top favorite tools that I use and supplies. The reason I go over after I glue is I want to make sure all that glue is spread out well. The worst thing you want to do, especially if you're giving these as gifts, is for the paper to come up or you get bubbling or creases in your paper. So I just like to make sure all that glue is spread out evenly and it's adhered well to the paper. Okay, so this piece will go on the back. Make sure it fits first. Okay. I had some fall paper, but it was they are 6x6 pads, and these need to be longer. So this was the next best thing. I think she'll like it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and cut our white cardstock. We need one piece that's 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. It's going to go right here. You might have some seepage come out like I do here. We'll just wipe it off, but we do want to make sure that your glue gets to the edges as well and not just the center. Okay. Now we need a piece that is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. This piece is just a little bit too big, so I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off. I made a similar album to this, and I think I got some of my measurements off. But you can just trim accordingly. I'll have the updated measurements on the blog post. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is a piece that's, let's measure. Three and a quarter by, let's see, 5 3/8. So 3 1/4 by 5 3/8. trim that down just a hair, just to give it a little bit more of a border. Okay, that works better. Just wanted to make sure that had a little bit of a border. Alright. My goodness, I got way too much glue there. Okie dokie. So now we can see how this is going to work. Now we're going to cover the front with DSP, and also we're going to do our pockets. Okay, let's see, what paper do we want to use? What do you think about the gingham? I think that's too dark. Or should we do the white? I'm liking the stripes too. I think I'm going to do the stripes. I think I'm really liking those. So, I usually like to come in, let's see how I want these to go. This is how I usually create a lot of my projects, is I just come in and do like measurements. I just measure and as it goes. So I'm gonna here, then let's see. I definitely didn't do this right. I am so sorry, guys. Let's do 1 3/4. That's not going to be right either. Let me think on this just a minute. I'm trying to think. You would think I haven't done this project before. That's what you're thinking, I know. But I have. You've seen it. You know what? I'm just going to try to make this a little easier because my brain has drawn a complete blank. So, I'm going to try to trace this. I'm going to put my paper inside the paper because my brain has, like I said, it has drawn a complete blank on how I did this. So I am just going to trace these and cut them out. Hopefully. I do apologize. I need to cut just a little bit down, but this is going to work. And again, I apologize. Alright, just a smidge off the bottom, just to allow some border of the contrasting colors. So That works for me. This might just be a little easier than the way I had planned it. Okay, and we only want to put glue on the outside edge here. Just a fine thing of glue to keep our pocket closed. We don't want to put it on any other area or it will close up our pocket completely. So now we have our pocket. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side because I just can't remember, y'all. I'm so not a math person anyway, and I will always try to figure out an easier solution for me and for you. Surely didn't cut that straight. I'm going to erase my line here. Just a smidge off the bottom. Ta-da! Oh my goodness. This is so much easier. This makes my brain happy. And we're going to add a smidge of glue. To create our other pocket. So now it's coming together. Okay. So let's do our back pieces, and they are going to be 3 3/4 by 6 3/4. And I believe I'm going to do the gingham. So 3 3/4. By 6 3/4. We're going to need, is that right? No, that is not right. Oh my goodness. Lord, please help me today, because I am struggling. I knew that looked too long. Oh well, we have to laugh at ourselves sometimes. Let's just pray that Michelle can get it together and no more mistakes will be made. Okay, so we're going to get this adhered down. Okay, so now we've got the back covered, and we just need to cover these pieces right here. We just have to decide what paper we want to use. Let's see, I'm thinking I want this paper on here. Let's cut a strip and see. I'm going to cut a 7/8 of an inch strip. And then we're just going to measure that. To go on the front. I am using single-sided paper. For things like this, I like to use single-sided paper. I think double-sided paper is just a complete waste to use because the other side won't be seen. Okay, so we have that piece made, and then this piece, let's see, it's 3 1/4. So I'm just going to go a smidge under 3 1/4 by 5 3/8. 3 1/4 by 5 3/8. Just looking for the other papers. Let's see. That's too short. That's right at 5 3/8, so 3 1/4. And this piece should slide. I'm going to take a smidge, just a smidge. Just a smidge. And then, yep, then that will just slide right under there perfectly. Good deal. There we go. Looking good. What do you guys think? I meant to mention earlier about the tags. You could easily leave these blank if you wanted to, and they could become more photo mats, just plain. I covered mine the first time in designer paper, but I think this time I'm going to leave them blank. Like that, so those can fit in there, and then we just need to cover this piece down here and create the belly band. Alright, so this one should fit down here. Needs just a smidge. Just a smidge. There we go. Okay, so that comes down. That looks really good. I like the colors that are contrasting. I think that looks really good. Okay, Now we're going to work on the belly band, and what I did, instead of trying to figure out where you're going to score and how it's going to fit, I usually like to put it on in the center. Find the center, I just eyeball it, and then I like to wrap it around. Let's see. You could probably trim this down a little bit. I just wanted to make sure I had enough room. And you don't want to have it so tight that they can't slide it off and on. So that looks about good. Just gonna put okay, so now it will still slide off and on really well. And then this piece is going to go on the front, like so. We'll decide what we're going to put on there. I cut this piece down. This is what I do when I have scraps. I just use them up, and I just put them on the paper and measure. If I can find my mark. Okay, so this will glue on the front. Just like so. And then I like to come in with my embellishment stickers and layer them up, or I usually sometimes mat them on black paper and cut around them. I don't mind fussy cutting. These are really cute. I'm trying to think. Life is better in the country. That's cute. These are already have pop dots on them, so that's good. Now, because these are so close in color, I would definitely mat these. And usually I'll just put them on some black and then fussy cut around them. Like I said, it doesn't bother me to fussy cut. Now with something like this, it's pretty simple just to cut around. Okay. I think with the contrasting background, it just makes the images pop even more. So we're just going to just do a rough fussy cut around this wreath. Okay, and then we've got flower pot. Now these can be, since we are matting them on black paper, these could be glued down flat, or you could also pop them up additionally. I usually put them on the paper first, and then I kind of decide what to do. I like that, hey y'all, life is better in the country. I think I am going to just glue them flat because there's pretty much 2 big thick layers on each of these. I mean, they're double already. So let's just glue these down flat. Now this one I may have to pop up a little bit if I add it over here close. So let's get some dimensionals. I love dimensionals. Okay, we're just going to give them a little press and peel off the back. It really gives it a nice 3D image. And then we're just going to attach it. Now remember, if you don't want to put adhesive all over the back, you just want to put it in the middle. So to keep me from getting it in places where it doesn't need to be, I only put it right in the center. Just give that a good firm press. And that way you're not adhering your belly band to your paper and it will slide off. So, really sweet folio. I hope you enjoyed today's project and I'll see you back here next time. Thanks for viewing.